Each new appearance of King Frederik and Queen Mary of Denmark causes a stir. During their first summer on the throne, the monarchs have not drawn much attention to themselves. Since Frederik was proclaimed king, their appearances have been infrequent and often sporadic, which is one of the drawbacks. The lack of a clear agenda also affects Crown Prince Christian, who was the last European heir to attend the Olympic Games in Paris, doing so only on the day of the closing ceremony. Where was he that he couldn't go earlier? Now, the king and queen have embarked on their first summer tour as monarchs. This is a tradition of the Danish royal family, which they have been preparing for a long time, smiling and making it clear that their relationship is strong and ongoing. Frederik and Mary Donaldson visited Bornholm. However, the distance between them was more than obvious, their gestures giving them away no matter how hard they try to prevent it. The new king and queen began one of the visits they had been preparing for most in recent months, the summer tour during which they present themselves as monarchs. The popularity of the crown in Denmark is very high, considering other countries and surveys. However, even in this case, the behavior of the king and the crown prince does not quite match reality. The shadow of Queen Margrethe is still very long. Frederik and Mary are both very friendly and approachable in their appearances, at least when they appear before the public, but their gestures eventually give them away. The coldness between the spouses does not go unnoticed. The tension between Queen Mary and her husband's behavior in recent years, perhaps ever since she has known him, does not abate. The fame of Frederik of Denmark does not fade, and what is even more troubling, it seems to have passed on to their son. While Mary Donaldson's serious gestures are a common occurrence when she visits and travels with her husband, the latest precedents related to King Frederik have not yet subsided. His ascension to the throne was a desperate maneuver by his mother to avoid further consequences and a possible royal split, which was already on the agenda before the proclamation of the throne. Princess Mary fled to Australia, her native country, and did not intend to return. On August 22nd, King Frederik and Mary will visit several places. Bornholm, Aro, Svendborg, and Vejle are the places they will stop during their first summer tour as monarchs. The couple has already had the opportunity to note how important this trip will be for the crown. On the first day, we were able to see how the king and queen visited craft factories, walked through the natural landscapes of the island, attended a choir performance in the oldest church of this place, and received representatives of the authorities and the public on board the Dannebrog, the royal family ship on which they make official trips. Frederik and Mary hosted a reception for 90 people, at which they acted as hosts. This is the first time they have traveled as king and queen since Frederik's proclamation in January of last year, which meant that everything had to change in the Danish crown. The popularity of the current king had to be restored, and a new path was to be chosen. Queen Mary, as always, distinguished herself with her elegance. Once again, summer in Denmark is cool, and the queen got rid of her coat and hat for her visit. Her refined style and lack of strictness always distinguish her. She is the European queen who recycles the most. Mary shines in her appearances, but she does not hide her serious gestures when walking with her husband. Frederik and Mary will visit several Danish municipalities during their 4-day summer tour, the first since their reign began in January. Each new appearance of King Frederik and Queen Mary of Denmark raises questions about what lies behind their impeccable smiles and carefully rehearsed gestures. Their summer tour, which was supposed to symbolize the stability and continuity of the Danish crown, reveals not only a warm attitude towards their subjects, but also internal contradictions that they clearly strive to conceal. At first glance, the king and queen seem confident in leading their country into the future, following traditions and winning the hearts of their subjects. However, the hidden tension in their relationship raises questions about how solid this royal couple really is. Perhaps their reign will be a test not only for themselves but also for the Danish monarchy as a whole, as the shadow of Queen Margrethe still looms over them, reminding them of what true royal power should be. The behavior of Crown Prince Christian against the backdrop of these events also raises questions. His detachment from public life and lack of a clear stance on the international stage cast doubt on his readiness to fulfill future duties. If Frederik and Mary fail to strengthen their power and pass on to their son a true understanding of monarchical responsibility, the crown may lose the popularity that has been its stronghold for many decades. This summer tour is only the first step on the path to restoring trust and strengthening the position of the new royal couple. Questions remain, and only time will tell if Frederik and Mary can move beyond the external glamour and become the true leaders the Danish people so eagerly wish to see. Their future is not just about continuing traditions, but also about the need to adapt to modern challenges, which will require not only diplomacy, but also sincerity in relationships with their subjects and with each other.